people, and 10% by land. Now, of course, if you're an island, like we are, then apart from the Channel Tunnel, everything has to come by sea, so it's probably more like 95%. Maritime trade has increased throughout the century. That's the graph from the UN Council on Trade and Development from 2010, and it was predicted that it would increase by 50% by 2030. Well, you'll never guess what. Actually, it's increased by 50% already, to 50,000 billion ton miles. 50,000 billion ton miles. And that's how it breaks down. You'll see chemicals, gas, oil, and containers increasing greatly, of course, and the five main dry bulks: iron ore, coal, grain, metal components, things like that. If you don't, and I would very much recommend this book by Rose George, Deep Sea and Foreign Going, Inside Shipping, the Invisible Industry that brings you 90% of everything, if you want to get a really good and readable feel for this global industry, which drives the world. 90% of world trade, maybe a bit less by volume and 70% by value. The lifeblood of the global economy, well, of course, we are here talking about globalization, so it's important that we have recognition of the maritime dimension, which is often out of sight, out of mind, because once a ship gets about 20 miles offshore, you can't see it. And remembering that's the 70% of the world that isn't land. And there's been a general trend increase in trade volumes. But there are risks, and you will remember when I joined Greenwich in 2010, the big issue was Somali-based piracy. And you can see here container ships in yellow. The various types of ships are identified by their ship identification systems, and nobody is sailing here because you might end up being held for a long period for a ransom or worse. Since then, the combination of measures by the maritime industry itself, including putting armed guards on board merchant ships, and also coordinated international action by navies, 3 international forces, 1 NATO, 1 US-led and 1 EU, and also some countries protecting their own ships as well. But there are risks. Ships are incredibly valuable things, and they are targets. The Admiral also mentioned choke points, and here's the Indian Ocean again, and you can see the various types of products being carried there, and notice in particular the choke point on the Malacca Strait here, which was a big target for pirates, until in 2004 the Americans introduced the Proliferation Security Initiative, which was supposed to stop people carrying weapons, but in fact it also proved very effective against the pirates. Now, more recently, and you will all be familiar with the tanker attacks which have taken place in the Strait of Hormuz in the last couple of months. May the 12th, attacks on 4 oil tankers off Fujairah, and then 13th of June, attacks on 2 oil tankers about 25 miles off the coast of Iran. And that is rather an interesting figure, as I shall explain. The ships on the 12th of May, 2 Saudi Arabian flagged, a Norwegian and an Emirati, and the 2 tankers attacked on the in June. One was Marshall Islands flagged, and one was Panama flagged. And that underlines, of course, the global nature of the maritime industry, that the ship might be owned by a Greek, flagged in Liberia, and crewed probably by Filipinos, Chinese perhaps. It is a very, very international business. And 1/5 of the world's oil in total, and 1/3 of that transported by sea, goes through the Strait of Hormuz, which of course goes into the Indian Ocean, which my friend the Admiral was talking about. So 1/3 of oil transported by sea goes through that strait. That's the 2 that were attacked off Iran. There's the Front Altair. That's, I think, before she was attacked, and that's what happened when she was attacked. Very small crews on these ships, only about 20 people on each. Who did it? Well, when the first attacks, it was suggested that it might have been the rebels in Yemen, the Houthi rebels in Yemen, who attacked the ships, because 2 of them were Saudi. However, the attacks on the 13th of June led people to think that it might have been Iran. It's a very interesting location, this. You see that there is an internationally agreed line between the Gulf states and Iran there, but it stops being agreed there. So the attacks took place there, as I say, about 25 miles off the Iranian coast, just outside the contiguous zone. The UN Convention on the Law of the Sea of 1982 gives you territorial sea of 12 nautical miles from the baseline, which is effectively the shore. Another zone, further 12 miles, is the contiguous zone, and then you get an exclusive economic zone, which again the Admiral referred to, of 200 miles, assuming that there isn't another country on the other side, in which case they put a line down the middle. Another event which took place recently, last week in fact, was the fire on board the Russian submarine Losherik. And this was mysterious. This is a very secret ship. It's nuclear powered, and it can dive very deep. Crew of 25, all of them officers, 7 captains first rank killed, including 2 who were heroes of the Russian Federation, which probably means that they had been ballistic missile firing submarine commanders, because you always got hero of the Soviet Union if you commanded a bomber. That's a representation of her. It's named after a cartoon character, a horse made up of spheres, because in order to dive very deeply, it's got these titanium spheres. That's how it's made up. That's probably a better representation of it. and your nuclear reactor is there. This ship, this submarine, can dive to about 2,500 meters, which is 4 times as deep as conventional submarines. Conventional submarines operate down to about 600 meters. So 4 times as deep. It may have been involved in putting the Russian flag between 4,000 and 5,000 feet down on the North Pole, which of course the Russians claim is theirs because it's a continuation of the Lomonosov Ridge, and under UNCLOS you can put your EZ out to 350 miles if it's a continuation of your own continental shelf. They're still arguing that one. It's been suggested that one of the roles of this deep diving submarine is to cut or monitor subsea cables, and of course all your internet traffic with foreign countries goes along underwater cables, or most of it, or much of it. The point about exclusive economic zones is my last point. As I said, 1982 UN Convention on the Law of the Sea gives you an exclusive economic zone out to 200 nautical miles, unless there's somebody else on the other side, or 350 if it's an extension of your continental shelf. So what were once the high seas, the global commons, have become increasingly territorialized. You can see that actually a lot of the world's oceans are exclusive economic zones of somebody. This actually provides, and it's a problem, I think, particularly for the developing world. In Africa, for example, you've got an exclusive economic zone of 200 nautical miles, but is there any way you can police that? And many African countries, of course, simply can't. That was also one of the alleged reasons why Somali piracy kicked off, because people were coming in and fishing in their exclusive economic zone, and nobody could stop them. So that's one of the excuses that the people who took up piracy used to justify their actions. And that's our exclusive economic zone there. And if you're a Russian warship heading to Syria, by the way, in order to get through the channel, you drive on the right in the channel, so you have to go through British territorial waters, but it was innocent passage because it wasn't threatening us, so it went through, escorted by the Royal Navy. I'm sorry to rush, but we were short of time. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. With apologies, I'm going to guillotine questions at this point in time because I know we have other speakers to come forward this afternoon, but I'm very grateful to both keynote speakers